The Pacific Rim. Meeting place of open ocean and coastal shallows, where leviathans come to feed, defined by kelp dancing with the sun rays, and the surface reflecting the ridges just below. As I descend in these shallows to explore, bubble kelp greets me on my way down, where I visit reefs of oysters on which sunlight dapples, formations of filter feeders that provide a habitat for shrimp. Most prefer solid bottom, but some dare to venture out in the water column. This diver meets a starfish, but does not notice the runaway. The walnut-sized stubby squid conceals its retreat with ink. Seeking safety, it decides to dig in. Shoving its butt into the sand, it slowly disappears. The final touch is done by its tentacles, and it is now safe from detection. A little deeper, I find green eelgrass beds, where armies of amphissa find food. And tiny zebra leaf slugs blend in with the green leaves, their white stripes emulating the grooves on the blades. At times, these underwater meadows house thousands of alien-looking hooded nudibranchs, gently swaying in the swell while they feed. On the sand below, a bamboo windmill worm creates and then eats its mucus web that caught food passing in the currents. Advancing through the eelgrass, I find juvenile perch seeking food and protection. Just like these tiny anchovy, foraging on the border between fresh and salt water. Soon they will be adult and form huge schools swirling just under the surface. As night falls over the shallows, a magic star-filled heaven becomes visible. Below the surface, schools of plankton mimic that night sky underwater, with jellyfish traveling like spaceships. Millions of copepods are like stars. Bioluminescent waves swirl like galaxies. Glass shrimp spacewalking like astronauts. And arrowworms dart like meteors through the black night. All with giant plumas and anemones as a background. As daylight returns, a giant airship drifts by, on its way to an unknown destination directed by currents. Passing over a shallow ridge, it is caught by towering anemones, holding its tentacles like anchor lines of a zeppelin. As the jellyfish pulsates to break free, its anxious passengers swim under the bell, at risk of losing their protection and transportation. Finally disentangled, the jellyfish continues to wander with its entourage, slowly disappearing in eternal blue, signaling the end of my dive. Reluctantly I leave and return to the surface.